viewers. So welcome back to the session, and this is Dr. C. Raghavendra, Associate Professor, Information Technology, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering College, Hyderabad. Today we are going to discuss about the network layer. Okay, and this is a layer. It's a very important in OSI layers. So we have already discussed the OSI layers having a 7 layers out of this. So this network layer is a third layer, which is very important. Today we'll discuss what is network layer, what is the importance of network layer, what are the functionalities, what are the advantages, so how data can be represented in network layer, and so what are the various protocols we are using in network layer. Okay, so all these things we can discuss in today's session. Let's see. So I hope you already remember this list of layers in the operating in the OSI reference model. So we have a bottom layers, we have a hardware layers, and this is the third layer. Now today we are going to discuss this network layer, and all of you please remember the OSI layers in the same sequence. Okay, that's a physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and finally application layer. Right. So here, we will data can be represented in the form of packets. Right. So what is packet? So packet is nothing but set of frames. Right. Set of frames, we can call it as packet. So if data is coming from like this in this direction, okay, so the group of frames are going to be form as a packet. Assume that if data is coming in this direction, so now this is and transport layer, from transport layer to network layer data is coming at that time. Here we can call it as transport layer data unit. Okay, so this we can also call it as segment. Right, so we can also call it as segments. Okay, some group of some one segment is again divided into packets. Right, so that is a data representation in network layer in packets. Right, so network layer is responsible for source to destination delivery of packets across multiple networks. Right, so isn't it? So obviously what will happen? So internet means we already discussed there are multiple networks are interconnected. Okay, now we are transferring a one email to our friend, so he is in some other country or some other continent. Then how we are going to send? And we are in India and our friend is in some other continent or some other country. Then how it is going to be possible? So there are multiple networks are interconnected. Okay, so in this, so the assume that, so this is internet, right? So here source will be there, here destination person will be there. In this internet, there are multiple networks are interconnected in this internet. Now we are going to send a mail to the with the one destination. So how it is going to be transferred? There is a destination address will be there. Based on the destination address, so the mail is going to be travel across multiple networks and reaches to the destination point. Okay, and this network layer is taking care of to transmit the mail or message from source to destination. So it is going to take the responsibility for this one, right? And it controls the operations of subnet, right? So we already discussed what is the major operation of subnet. So which is going to minimize the flow, that is data flow. Okay, so this subnet is going to minimize the data flow operations, right? And it also responsible for addressing, determining route for sending, and managing network problems. So what is addressing? Addressing is nothing but, so it may be a source or destination address. Okay, so it is going to taken care of this addressing, checking, and determine the route for sending. That means, so there is a source address is there. Okay, in data link layer, so there is a header will be there. The purpose of header is it is going to add the source and destination address, and it is going to check whether the source and destination address is available or not for the data packet. If it is available, then based on the destination address, this network layer is going to determine the path. So in which path it is suitable to transmit that particular data packet from source to destination. Because so I said that internet is a collection of multiple networks, isn't it? So what happened here, there are plenty of routes are available, isn't it? For example, if you are coming from your home to your office address or college address, okay, then how you are going to come? So you can assume that you have using your own transportation, then how you are going to come? You have, there are multiple routes are available, then how you are going to come to the college or office regularly? So based on uh, some criteria, sir. So in which path is the best path? So in which path having a less traffic, in which path having roads are very fine. Okay, so like this we can consider some constraints. Based on that we can choose the path, isn't it? In the same way, to the data packet reaching to source to destination, we have a multiple paths are available, because there are multiple networks are interconnected, and this particular network layer is going to determine which path is the best path to reach to the destination, right? And managing network problems, that means sometimes what will happen due to some power problems, or some router problems, or maybe some sort of network device issues. Sometimes some networks may not be work properly. At the time, if network is not working, means at what particular place, then it's automatically redirect those packets into some other network. Okay, so via some other network it is going to redirect. So even all these kind of networking issues also, this network layer is going to take care. The next important thing is logical addressing. So what is logical addressing? In logical addressing is having a source and destination address to avoid the confusion, right? So in data link layer we are adding the it is going to take in responsibility to add the source and destination address, and this particular network layer checking the whether the source and destination address is available or not for each and every packet. It is going to be verified here. So that is, we can call it as logical addressing. It divides the stream of data into packets or chunks, right? If data is coming from upper layer, that is segments, in the form of segments it reaches, then automatically it is going to divide the data segments into packets. So we can also call it as chunks, right? You please remember the terminologies, right? We can also call it as packet or chunks. And provide the acknowledgement of successful transmission. So whichever the data or packets are going to be transmitted successfully, those are getting the acknowledgement, also transmitted to the source address. And network software. What is network software? Here we are using network software, the terminology. Why we are using network software means, so generally network software, phrase for software is designed to help set up, manage and or monitor computer networks, isn't it? So this network layer is going to transmit the data based on the destination address and determines the path, suitable path, isn't it? So for that it requires a one software which is going to be monitor whether the packet reaches to the destination or not. If any issues may arise during the transmission, if the data packet is lost during the transmission, it has to send an negative acknowledgement to the sender, isn't it? In case data is lost during the transmission due to timeout errors or some other problems, the network layer has to take the responsibility, isn't it, to transmit the data packet from sender to receiver, isn't it? So that is the reason it has to monitor till reach to the end of the destination point. Okay, that's why. So here we are using network software and networking hardware, right? So what is network hardware? Why we are using network hardware here means, so it also known as network equipment or computer networking device or electronic devices which are required for communication and interaction between devices on a computer network, right? So just for the sake of so software is used for monitoring, but how it is going to be monitored? Just with the help of hardware parts only. So the hardware is going to be interact with the software. So wherever the data packet will be right now, and if any loss, if any data packet is going to be lost in the middle, so how it is going to, it has to be interacted with the network software, and they based on the network software only, the error message are going to be sent back to the sender with the help of the network hardware, right? The next layer is transport layer. This transport layer responsible for source to destination delivery of entire message. Okay, source to destination delivery of entire message. Even this is responsible for previous network layer also, and transport layer is also having a same responsibility for source to destination delivery of entire message. Okay, but if you clearly particularly observe, this is responsible for entire message, but that network layer is responsible for packet, not for entire packets, right? And message divided or grouped into segments, and each segment contain unique sequence number. Clear? So this is the fourth OSI layer, right? So here, divided or grouped, that means if data is coming from the network layer, it is going to group the data segments into data packets into segments, right? If the data is coming from the upper layers, that means it is more than the size of the, more than the segment size, isn't it? So at that time, so data is going to be divided into segments, and each segment contain unique sequence number. That means each and every segment having a one unique number. And connection control is one more responsibility. Connection control means, so it is going to check whether it is a connection oriented or connectionless, because we have a connection of we have, for example, Wi-Fi is there, so Wi-Fi supports a wireless connection, isn't it? If a broadband is there, that is a wired connection, isn't it? So it supports both connection oriented, connectionless, right? And these are as usual flow control and error control are the responsibility of transport layer. So we have already discussed what is flow control and error control, isn't it? It just minimizes the flow, and if any errors will occur, it is going to intimate to the sender. So there are some sort of errors based on the scenarios, right? So in this session we discuss about what is network layer, what is transport layer, so what are the functionalities of network layer and transport layers, isn't it? So with this, we can understand so how data is going to be represented in network layer and transport layer, and how we are going to be transferred from one layer to another layer. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.